Hi everybody, Brent Jones, New Home Source Realty. How are you? Going to do a Facebook Live. Sometimes when I do a Facebook Live here in my office, it works relatively well. I'm going to try my Wi-Fi here. I have AT&T, which is hit and miss. So we'll see if it works. Hopefully it will. If it knocks us out or pauses, we'll just have to deal with that. So anyway, onward and upward, here we go. I want to talk about that we need buyers. You need to get real in this real estate market, and I'm going to talk to you about that. Some buyers think it's 1970, and they're not understanding or appreciating what a severe, extreme seller's market this is, and therefore you're not going to get a house. So we need to get real about this real estate market. So we're going to chat about all of that. Before we get started, click notifications, follow me, like this video, and leave a comment. So you have to do the real estate market changes really technically on a daily basis, but certainly within a matter of weeks, months, quarters, that kind of stuff. And you have to adjust accordingly. And what we're in now is a severe seller's market. I've never seen a seller's market like this before. I've been doing this for 30 years. The pendulum always is constantly moving. Sometimes it moves more towards the buyer's advantage. Sometimes it moves more towards the seller's advantage. Sometimes it's kind of 50-50. But I've never seen it before where it is so severely over to the seller's side, seller's advantage. And the reason for that is everybody and their brother is moving to Texas. And so you have basically unlimited demand and very limited supply. Now there's indications that the supply side is going to get better because this government forbearance is going to eventually come to a close. So you're going to have some houses there. You're going to have some investors that are tired of being landlords. They're going to be putting their properties on the market. New construction is going to eventually get all of their supply and labor issues worked out. So there will be more supply side there. But as it is now, it is a severe, it's like playing poker. Okay, and you've got nothing, and the seller has a royal straight flush, and that's just the way it is. That's the game that we're having to play, and you have to understand that. I'm going to give you a scenario of a perfect offer, and these are actually real offers that sellers are getting out there. So let me just tell you the components of this, and what your offer would look like stacked up and competing against this. Okay, here's offers, real offers that sellers are getting out there. Okay, for openers, cash, offering above asking price, no option period, which means if the seller accepts, you're going straight from having it listed as active straight to pending. So there's no option period, there's no inspection, there's no requested repairs. Waive their right to terminate based on the appraisal. Now, if it's cash, they don't have to have an appraisal anyway, but if it was going to be conventional, they could waive their right to terminate based on the appraisal, which means the buyer's saying, I'm going to offer above asking price, and hey, if it doesn't appraise, I will bring the difference to closing. So that's what you're competing up against. A couple of more things. Buyers are giving the sellers free lease back, which means, hey, we're going to close on the 15th, but you don't have to be out till the 30th. We're going to give you a free 2-week lease back, which is unheard of. Back in more normal markets, if the buyer would give the seller a lease back at all, it might be a couple of days. But 2 weeks, again, this is a great indication of how crazy this market is. So free 2-week seller lease back. Again, of course, asking for nothing, not asking for a home warranty. Now, the days of asking for closing costs, that's long since been gone, but the buyer's asking for nothing, and the buyer's willing to even pay title policy. So buyers paying for everything and overpaying and giving a free lease back, every advantage is to the seller's side. Now, can you offer something like that? Probably not. Again, that's the perfect dream, perfect storm seller offer. Now, I'm not saying that your offer has to check every one of those boxes, but you need to try to come as close as possible. Now, again, you may not be a cash buyer. We'll talk about that here in a second. But you need to try to be as absolutely competitive as possible, not ask for anything. Offer the maximum that you can afford, not ask for anything. If you can afford a lease back, you need to do that. Here's where your family, friends, and coworkers are coming in. And I know that your family, friends, and coworkers love you. And everybody has an opinion. And they want to tell you what you should be offering, okay? And with all due respect, they don't know what they're talking about, okay? If you went to a doctor and your doctor told you you needed to have surgery, would you go get a second opinion from your buddy that works in a warehouse and drives a forklift about what he thinks, whether or not you should have surgery? And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but it's time to get real in this real estate market. You need professional advice, not what your family and friends and coworkers think. God bless them. I'm glad they have an opinion. That's wonderful. So you can listen to their opinion, but just don't take their advice. Not in this market. If you do, you're not going to get a house. It's not 1970. You're going to have your coworker tell you, "Oh, well, you know what? Back in the day, my uncle got a house and he took a $20,000 discount and they threw in the pool table and the formal dining room table." Okay, that's wonderful. That was 1970. We can't get into a DeLorean and go back to the future and have that. We got to deal with what we've got now. What we've got now is a severe seller's market. Your offer has to reflect that, or you're not going to get a house. It's just that simple. So you need a realtor. You need a professional now more than ever. You're a realtor, and I am one. And if you don't have a realtor, I'd love to consult with you and see what I could do to be of help. But your realtor can help you help make your offer as appealing as possible to the potential sellers. There are programs. So let's say you've qualified for a mortgage. And you would like to be a cash buyer. Well, there are programs where one of them is called Ribbon, where you can convert your loan into cash and you can write up your offer as a cash buyer. So that will help a bunch right there. Your realtor can also tell you what they recommend that you offer. Should you offer full asking price? Absolutely. In this market, offering below offering price, something would have to be out of kilter here. Something would have to be wrong with the house. But should you offer above asking price? Absolutely. But how much? 101%, 102, 105? Your realtor can do some market studies and tell you if you are going to offer above asking price, what percent. And they can tell you what houses have been selling for in that subdivision over the last 90 days. And they can tell you, yeah, they've been selling for 102.3% above asking price. So your offer is going to need to be in that ballpark in order to be competitive. That's why a realtor, a professional, can help you with that. Absolutely ask for nothing. Close as fast as you can, as fast as possible. If you can give a lease back, which means if you can close and allow the seller to stay for a few days, assuming that they need it, and oftentimes they do need it, but let the seller stay for a few days or even a couple of weeks if you can, that would be great. One more little tip. Real estate is business. It's brick and mortar and it's dollars and cents. Okay? But real estate is different than most any other business out there in that there's emotion that comes into play with real estate. The house becomes part of the family. With all the decades that the house has been in the family and all the events and the Christmases and the Halloweens and the Easters and this is where Susie had her sweet 16 birthday party, etc., etc. The house becomes a member of the family because there's so many memories there. And the sellers, even though it is brick and mortar and dollars and cents, the sellers would like for the, I'm sorry, I'm getting text messages when I'm doing this. The seller would like for their house to go to a nice family is what I'm trying to say. So your realtor could advise you, hey, you ought to do a little bio letter. Tell the seller a little bit about you and your family and why y'all are so wonderful, and also stroke their ego. Tell them how much you love their house and how you love what they did with this and how you love what they did with that, and how y'all have the same taste, and how you're going to take care of their baby, their house, how you're going to take care of it in years to come. So that would help too. Your realtor can help advise you on a bio letter. Because if your offer is close to another offer, you'd be surprised. The sellers might just go with you because they want their house to go to a wonderful family. So, family, friends, and coworkers, I know they mean well, but I'm telling you, in this market, if you want to have a house, you want to get a house, you got to listen to a professional. You don't need to listen to your family, friends, and coworkers. You don't need to take their advice. You need to take the advice of a professional realtor. Again, I'm happy to help. If you have a realtor, good luck. If you don't have a realtor, how about me? I got a 98% approval rating on Google, so feel free to call me, Brent Jones, New Home Source Realty, 214-649-4528. Hope this was helpful. Anything I can do to be of help, don't hesitate to contact me. Brent Jones, 214-649-4528. Tell your family and friends and coworkers I said hi. Bye.